Hello, viewers at home. I want to welcome you to Legacy Channels today. It's pleasant being here again. And this is the channel where we discuss about service unto God, the legacy God gave to man, which is service unto God. We believe that when you serve the Lord, a lot of the problems that people do have are negated in your life. And on this program, we talk about the process, the way you serve God. We talk about the challenges inherent in service unto God. We look at the benefits you stand to derive when you serve the Lord. We know that many people run into crisis because their service is not in order. And so we are discussing on a number of issues pertaining onto service. Today, we are discussing on the call of God. We began that discussion a number of episodes backwards. And so today, we just want to continue on that. And with me in the studio today are wonderful ladies, servants of God, who are involved in service, who have been involved in various ways. And we are going to be discussing together on the role a woman has to play when her husband receives the call. To my immediate right is Mrs. Bidemi Jobi, who is a pastor and the wife of the General Overseer of Sought Out Assembly, based in Logan. She's also the principal of a public secondary school. You're welcome to Legacy Channel.
Thank you.
Right on my left is my wife. I'm sure she's been here a number of times. We're always here together. She's Joke Uluoshoyo, is the senior pastor of the Answer Bible Church based in Ogundepo in Ibadan. You're welcome again today.
Good to be back. Thank you.
And on my far left is Mrs. Shadeola Obajo. She's the proprietress of Dominion Group of Schools, and the wife to, she's a pastor herself. She's the wife of General Overseer of Enduring Word Ministries, based in Akpata, Ibadan. Mrs. Shadeola Obajo. Glad to have you here today.
What's up to me? Thank you.
Viewers at home, like I told you, what we are looking at today is the call of God. We began to look at that a number of episodes backwards, and today we are beginning to look at the role of a woman when her husband receives a call. We know so many stories of homes that have had a lot of crises, a lot of challenges, because the breadwinner received a call. And so today we intend to look at how to handle some of those issues. Let me start with you, madam, to my right. When somebody receives a call, when a man receives a call, who happen to be your spouse, what should be the first step that a woman ought to take?
Thank you very much once again. The first step I think a woman should take when her spouse receives the call of God, I think the woman should call the husband to ask about his conviction about the call of God and to clarify some issues. Like when my husband received the call of God, that was in 1989, and I was aware of it because it was during my reunion as a copper. He made me to realize that the call was not immediate, but that we should have it in mind that one day we will go into full-time ministry, and that kind of prepared me before the time. So I will advise the woman to ask the husband for his convictions to know whether it's actually the call of God. and then to ask for the clarifications about the call of God. Then the woman will now go before God in prayer for God to confirm his word to her, so that she too will be sure about the calling of God upon her husband, and they will be able to work together to fulfill the vision.
Wow, that's great. Apparently, in your own situation, your husband knew ahead. He had that premonition even before you got married, yes, that he was going to be in a call. So it was like you were prepared. Sometimes it's not that, not like that.
In a lot of situations, in a lot of situations, the woman doesn't even know. Sometimes she just wakes up and the husband just comes and
from the blues,
things they had never talked about before, and she just wakes up and he says, I'm going to full-time ministry. I think for such a woman, one of the things she needs to do is to go back to God, because for somebody who didn't have an idea, who didn't have any inkling, chances are you react. But before the reaction, the first thing she should do, if I were going to advise, is don't even say anything. Don't give any reaction. Go and pray.
She should not give a reaction.
Yeah, because...
Is it that easy? Particularly in the situation where she knows that the bread, the source of bread, is likely to be affected.
It's not always very easy.
Mr. Shade, you want to make a comment on that?
I just feel that even there will have been some things that the man too will have been involved in the church before. Maybe they are in one issue before. The woman too will have been seeing that this man, the way he's going. So even the man is just coming in, and if she's not prepared for it, she can now go back and pray and be sure. After being sure, she herself must adjust her mind that I better wake up to the task ahead of me. Like in my own case, I even cried.
You didn't like the idea?
I know that I didn't like it because I know the weight. That what this man is going to be
challenges.
Like, yeah, be able to cope. Even with the man himself, be able to cope. How would he do it?
You know, the problem is that a number of ladies in such situations, because of the fears that they already had, when they now go to pray, they come out with a negative word, claiming that God is not saying it. You know, this man probably had received a call. He felt God was speaking to him. And then the wife goes to pray and comes back and says, God did not say so. Have you seen cases like that before?
Yes.
I think in a case like that, the man should just try to carry that woman along. To explain. If we should go to God and say, God, help me with my wife. Because it will be an issue.
I don't want you to talk about the man. I want you to talk about the woman.
Yes, that woman. So God,
what should the woman do?
That one, because if she has that kind of impression that maybe if she's not ready, she's not likely to receive right.
Yes.
If she's not in the right mind, if she's not open, that woman should open up her heart to know, God, is it true? God, confirm it to me. She should be ready. And when God confirms, if it's positive, she now should be ready. God asks for God's grace to do it. Because
actually, it's not always easy, because there is a case we are handling in our town. The husband just decided to go into full-time ministry. Then the wife said that, well, God did not call you. I cannot see the call of God upon you. Then the husband tried to convince the woman, asked the woman to pray, and the husband even went to some men of God, to senior men of God, and they were asked to talk to the woman, but the woman insisted that God did not call her husband, that she could not see the call of God. So the man said that they started the church in their house. The woman did not allow the members. She will be fighting the members. She did not allow the members to have a nice time. So eventually, the man had to pack the church out of the house, and he rented an apartment where they are using for the church. But the woman has not been attending the church, even up to now. And that happened about 3 years ago.
No, but there are some situations where the lady there are some ladies that have actually said, I can't marry a pastor. And it's so rampant in this generation. If you come to church and you just try it in a singles meeting and say, how many of you want to marry pastor? You will see people say, God forbid, as if it's a bad thing. Now, if you are coming from that angle of God forbid, I can't marry a pastor, and your husband says, God has called, a lot of those ladies never see they don't see the trend. It's because there's something, inside. I want to advise that as a lady or as a woman, when your husband says, I have received the call, that was why I said you don't need to react. Because if you are going to react, the reaction is based on something you have within you, not most likely what God spoke to you. So the first thing you should do as a lady is go and pray. Go and pray. Forget whatever inhibitions you had, whatever things you had at the back of your mind before. Just be sincere before God. If you are not sincere before God, you will not hear God. You will only hear the thoughts of your heart.
That's good. I like that. So most of those ladies, the challenge is the fear that they have in their hearts.
Yeah.
We will be right back.
Ìdáhùn dé sí gbogbo ìbéèrè. Answer Bible Church lolúwa sọ̀dọ̀ ìdáhùn sí gbogbo ìbéèrè ọmọ aráyé. O fẹ́ lówó, o fẹ́ kọ́lé, ọmọ ló fẹ́ bí àbí o fẹ́ rè lú òyìnbó. Ẹ̀bùn ẹ̀mí mímọ́ tààrà ló nílò. O jẹ́ wá kí bàbá Reverend Olúwagbémiga olówó sọ yóò sàsọtẹ́lẹ̀ sáyé rẹ̀. Kò lè bẹ́gbẹ́gbẹ́ kò lè bọ́gbàtò. Ẹ̀mí mímọ́ dé, ẹ̀mí òkùnkùn ẹ̀bìlà. Tani jákó warapa níwájú akúnyányán. Fùlẹ́ńgẹ́ iná dà níwájú omi àdúrà. Ayélémi títí Musa débi ìsinmi o. The Answer Bible Church ní number 1 Answer Way Ògúndépò off Ẹgbẹ́dá Àtúbà Road. Lẹ́bàá Muslim ní re tèmi wá. Ìsìn ọjọ́ ìsinmi lédè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. Aago 8 sí 9 àbọ̀ òwúrọ̀. Ìtọ́nisọ́nà mímọ́ pẹ̀lú ìwé mímọ́. Láago 9 àbọ̀ sí 10 àbọ̀. Ìsìn lédè Yorùbá. Láago 10 àbọ̀ sí 12 gán. Lọ́jọ́ ìsinmi. Ẹ̀wẹ̀. Agbára ìsọdọ̀tun ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ajé Monday 6 to 7 a.m. Àti nírọ̀lẹ́ ọjọ́ ajé kan náà 6 to 7:30 p.m. Ìjìnlẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ deep teaching di every Wednesday. Ọjọ́rú 6 to 8 p.m. Bẹ́ẹ̀ gbogbo ọjọ́ ẹtì tó gbẹ̀yìn nínú oṣù. Last Friday of every month ní ṣọ́ọ̀rù agbára wa. Gbogbo ẹ̀ nínú ìjọ wa The Answer Bible Church number 1 Answer Way Ògúndépò off Ẹgbẹ́dá Àtúbà Road via Muslim Lagos Ibadan Expressway. Jésù ni Olúwa.
Now, this is getting very interesting. A lot of ministers, a lot of people, when they receive a call, the man himself was not actually thinking of it before. Like in your case, he was thinking about it. I guess in my own case also, I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
In a number of cases, there are people who have been thinking, who have known all along that they were going to enter into ministry and so on. But there are cases where the man himself had blocked that idea completely from his mind. Sometimes, even in their process of what do you call it now, the courtship, as husband and wife, they have had several discussions that looked like they were even making commitments to each other that we are not going to go in that direction. Sometimes they even say they don't want to take specific responsibilities in churches. Not to talk of receiving a call. And then from the blues, the man just comes and says, God says I should go and resign my job and do ministry. And the man is so bent on doing it. In such a situation, the woman, you have said the woman should pray. But is that all she could do, Sister Shade? Let me start from you.
I think after praying, and if the woman is still feeling that this thing is sudden, because it's going to be a shock, the woman can seek counsel too from maybe people that have gone ahead of her to really tutor her, to explain things to her, because now the man has made up her mind. I mean his mind of what he wants to do, and she can't change. She has got that she can't change the mind of this man. What she should do, that I will advise, is she should just hold on to God for grace, but not to fight the man, not to make the home hot for him. because the man cannot do anything without her. Everything is going to affect the whole family. If she reacts negatively, she should try and trust God for grace to carry on with that man. Because like the case of Moses in the Bible, see, Zipporah was not prepared that her husband will go and deliver somebody.
Yeah.
Because we could see her reaction.
Right.
When God wanted to confront Moses about his circumcision. So in that case, as a woman of God, one should, if you know the weight is so heavy, try and hold on to somebody you believe in for help. Don't carry it alone, or else you may die alone.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Actually, you see, that subject of fear is a big, very big problem that has to be dealt with. And then sometimes the lady feels betrayed. Feels like the man has betrayed her. Whereas the man also is struggling with the call. He too has his fears. All of them are genuine. You know?
And I think the fear is always about how to cope, how to survive.
Yeah.
That is what the fear is majorly about. So I think the woman should always, if the man is the breadwinner, and in such a situation the man is determined to go into the ministry, I think if the woman has not been up and doing before, maybe she doesn't have a stable job, she should prepare her mind and try to look for things that she can engage in that will at least be bringing something for the family. Because when we talk about the ministry, the call of God, I think every Christian is supposed to answer the call of God one way or the other. Just like I was reading in Philippians chapter 1 from verse 12. Paul was saying that some people were preaching the gospel out of envy, some out of strife, some out of pretense. But what is concerned about is that whether it is out of strife or out of jealousy or envy, the gospel is being preached. So it is good. The call of God is always honorable and good. But the fear is about how do we cope? Like my own fear is, what if people do not come? But when we pray and we hold on to God, and concerning the issues of the finance, the woman should also be up and doing. Look for something in the environment that can be bringing something in to ease the situation.
Yeah, you just jumped into the next question I was going to ask. You know?
The fear could be more than
the
financial aspect of it.
But hold on, is that fear genuine? Is that fear real? Is it necessary? Is it justifiable?
Share when somebody is not prepared. And this is not business son that what you do in the flesh. It's a spiritual assignment. So it's justifiable for we women. Because we know what it entails.
So
it's more than money.
There are challenges.
Yeah.
The issue with that fear is that we have seen all kinds of examples. You've seen examples of people that because they went into ministry, their whole life standard went to zero. So, and unfortunately,
it could even be worse than that. Some people even die in the process.
The children,
unfortunately, the devil amplifies that picture when the call comes. That's actually where the problem is.
You know, the problem about that is that some of these fears, some of these reactions to fear would eventually introduce the things she was actually afraid for.
Yeah.
Because as a result of that fear, now she becomes careless. Their home becomes disjointed. And access routes is created for the devil to come in.
I think what we should think about is how do we master that fear? How do we manage it when the fear comes? An average woman will be afraid. But we should manage that fear.
Okay. On a closing note, I think we don't have so much time. Now let's put it. You began to talk about what she could do. She could begin to do some things to make money herself. Are there other things a woman can do if her husband, who used to be the breadwinner, suddenly receives a call and he cannot do money work again and he has to do God's work? What else can a woman do in such situation?
Well, if the woman is a bit educated, they can think about starting a nursery school or daycare or whatever. and she can look at the surrounding, I mean the area where they are placed, and look at what is the need of this environment. Like somebody was telling me that there was in her place when that one she was not called into ministry, but she finished her education, she could not get any job. Then she said she did that day, she looked around and saw that many people were selling this for puff and buns, but they had to travel to a major city to buy the raw materials to produce. So she now decided that she will not be going to the major city to buy this thing in bulk and sell it to them. By the time we met, she had already built a house and she was not even looking for any white collar job again.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. You want to add to that?
Yeah, I think just you can reduce their expenses.
Wow.
If like private school, put the children in the school you can afford. If you are living in a very big house before, try and cut it down, go to a smaller place. Just cut down the expenses and be moderate and understand. Be an understanding wife. Don't nag. Don't use that ministry work against them. Especially when financial shortage comes in the family.
And don't compare yourself with another person. Because in the process of comparing, the Bible even says we are not wise. When you compare, you don't even know what the other person has gone through. You don't know what she is going through presently. So don't compare. Just be an individual and live your life. Enjoy that, because that is a phase. It's just a phase.
Yes.
Even if it were a business the man was starting, you would still go through that phase.
Yes.
I like that. That's a good rounding up for it. You know, she began to talk about the fact that if it's a business, you will go through the same process. That is the pioneering stage. The only place you are not going to experience that is if you are working under a boss who pays a salary. As long as you start a business, you're starting a ministry, you're starting anything, it's going to go through the teething period. Life is in phases. Now, and if you have that understanding about ministry, then you're ready to buckle up and go along with your husband. Very rewarding comments have been made here today. And we will pick it up from there in the next episode. Viewers, it is well with you.